News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Dan Schwartzman. The U.S. and Iran agreeing to a 2-week ceasefire, with Tehran pledging to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Reports, though, say that hostilities still persist. As far as news agency says, passage of oil tankers via the Strait of Hormuz has been stopped. Bloomberg Economics' Becca Wasser with more.
Right now, it's a ceasefire in name only for a few reasons. We are seeing various drones and missiles launched at the Gulf states from Iran. I just was doing some calculations back at my desk, and I think we're at over 150 projectiles being launched at the Gulf since the start of the ceasefire.
Hear more from Becca Wasser on the Bloomberg Balance of Power podcast. Meanwhile, General Dan Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said the U.S. is ready if fighting restarts.
We welcome the ongoing ceasefire, and as the Secretary said, we hope that Iran chooses a lasting peace. But as Secretary Hegseth said, let us be clear, a ceasefire is a pause, and the joint force remains ready if ordered or called upon to resume combat operations.
That's General Dan Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Meanwhile, a Saudi Arabian pipeline was hit in a drone attack, but damage was said to be limited. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif says that negotiating teams from both Iran and the U.S. will be coming to Pakistan on Friday, but that has yet to be verified by the U.S. While Israel says they backed a 2-week ceasefire with Iran, they say it does not extend to their operations in Lebanon. The IDF says it carried out its largest operation against Hezbollah since the start of the Iran war, targeting more than 100 Hezbollah command centers and military sites. Reports from Iran's Tasnim news agency, though, says Iran has threatened to withdraw from the truce if attacks in Lebanon continue. Iran's Mehr news agency says Iran is preparing a, quote, heavy response to Israel's attacks on Lebanon, citing an IRGC Aerospace Forces commander. President Trump on Truth Social threatening an immediate 50% tariff on any, quote, country supplying weapons to Iran. Trump says the tariff will be on all goods sold to the U.S. without any exclusions or exemptions. We check markets all day long here at Bloomberg. The Dow is currently up over 1,200 points, an increase of over 2.6%. The S&P 500 is up over 160 points, a gain close to 2.5%, while the Nasdaq is currently up over 650 points, closing in on a gain of 3%. The 10-year Treasury yield is at 4.274%. The 2-year yield is at 3.766%. Delta Airlines expects to incur more than $2 billion in higher fuel costs through June because of the Iran war. Chief Executive Officer Ed Bastian telling reporters that the airline expects to raise fares more than what has already been levied. With the U.S. and Iran agreeing to a ceasefire, airline shares globally surged, with Delta shares rising over 7%, rival United Airlines rising 11%, while American Airlines rose about 8%. ExxonMobil says it has lost 6% of its global production in the first quarter due to the Iran war. The company said 2 liquefied natural gas production lines at a facility in Qatar were damaged by Iranian missile strikes, and the damage will take a prolonged period to repair. Exxon now expects first quarter earnings from its energy products division to be lower. Brent crude falling as much as 17% before trading near $95 a barrel, while European natural gas futures posted their biggest decline in more than 2 years, shedding as much as 20%. West Texas Intermediate also falling by around 16% to around $95 a barrel. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Dan Schwartzman, and this is Bloomberg.